Hello, my radiant and magnificent Leo souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom, your sacred space for illuminating the profound truths the universe whispers directly to your heart. I am your guide, and if you have found your way to this message at this precise moment in time, I want you to feel deep within the fiery core of your being that your presence here is a divine appointment. Pause with me for just a moment. Before we journey into the heart of this truth, find a comfortable space. Take a deep, intentional breath in, drawing the golden light of the cosmos into your lungs. Hold it, feeling your own inner sun expand. And as you exhale, release any static, any confusion, any lingering whispers of self-doubt. Let your royal shoulders relax. Let the magnificent fortress of your heart open just enough to receive a truth so clarifying, so validating, that it is destined to change the way you see yourself forever. There is a story unfolding in your heart, isn't there? A story of a sudden silence, a growing distance from someone you shone your brilliant light upon. You felt it, that unmistakable shift in the energy, a cooling where there was once warmth. And in the quiet moments, you have likely asked your own noble heart that painful question again and again: what did I do wrong? But the universe has brought you here right now to hear the real answer. And it is a truth that will liberate you. Before we journey deeper into this sacred truth, an illumination that is meant just for you, I want you to make a pact with your own radiant heart. This is a moment of reclaiming your power. Seal your intention by pressing that like button, not as a simple click, but as a powerful declaration that you are ready to stop questioning your own brilliance. And in the sacred space of the comments below, I want you to claim your power by typing, "I am stepping into my full radiance." This is your signal to the cosmos, a sacred covenant with your own soul that you will no longer dim your light for anyone. And if you have not already subscribed to Cosmic Wisdom, and activate the notification bell so that you never miss these divine downloads designed to guide you back to your own magnificent truth. Now let me tell you the secret your soul already knows. The reason this person distanced themselves, the reason they pulled away into the shadows. It was not because you weren't interesting enough. It was not because you did something wrong. And it was most certainly not because you were not important. My dear Leo, they distanced themselves because your light was too bright. Your power was too palpable. Your truth was too pure. And that glorious, unapologetic radiance deeply, profoundly terrified someone who was not yet ready to face their own shadows. It frightened a soul who was not prepared to stand in the full blaze of your magnificent sun. I know you felt it. You, with your lion's heart and keen intuition, you noticed the distance growing like a silent, creeping vine. You felt that chasm widening with every passing day. You saw the replies to your messages become shorter, the vibrant energy draining from them until they were mere echoes of what they once were. You witnessed the plans you made together dissolve, cancelled, with excuses that felt hollow and thin. You felt the very energetic fabric of your connection shifting, cooling, and ultimately dissolving into a confusing silence, leaving you without a clear or honest explanation. And in that silence, your wonderfully loyal and generous heart probably began to weave a tapestry of self-blame. Was I too much? Did I say the wrong thing? Did my passion scare them away? You have asked yourself these questions 1,000 times, haven't you? The answer from the cosmos today is resounding, and I want you to let it wash over you. You did nothing wrong. you did everything right. You were simply gloriously and incandescently yourself. And your authentic self was a force of nature too powerful for someone living a life of superficiality to even begin to process. The moment you truly grasp this, a magnificent shift will occur within you. You will begin to understand that the distance you have been interpreting as a painful rejection was in fact an act of profound recognition. It was their soul, on an unconscious level, recognizing your greatness. It was a recognition of your regal power, your boundless capacity to love, your unwavering commitment to being real in a world that is so often filled with masks and illusions. Think of it this way, beautiful soul. When someone who has spent their entire life running from their own inner depths, hiding their own insecurities, encounters a soul like yours, a Leo soul who lives in the absolute blazing truth of your own heart, their most primal instinct is to flee. They must run before your light completely illuminates their carefully constructed shadows, before your warmth thaws the frozen parts of their heart. They are not ready to feel before your authenticity demands that they too become real. Can you begin to open your heart to the possibility that the problem was never, ever that you were too much? Can you entertain the truth that it was always that the other person was not yet enough for themselves and therefore could never be enough for you? I magnificent Leo, you are ruled by the sun. You are the center of your own solar system, and you carry within you an intensity, a warmth, and a creative fire that most people can only dream of possessing. This is not arrogance. It is your divine design. When you love with the force of a solar flare, with every cell of your powerful being. When you commit your loyalty, it is a royal decree, unbreakable and true. When you open your magnificent heart, you open it completely, without games, without hidden strategies, without defensive walls. Your love is a generous, life-giving force. And this way of being, this completely surrendered and authentic way of relating to the world, is utterly intimidating to people who have spent their lives in a state of emotional control. It is terrifying for those who calculate their every move, who maintain a cool emotional distance as a mechanism for their very survival. They exist in a world of muted colors, and you, my dear Leo, are a supernova of vibrant, living light. The person who retreated from your orbit saw the sheer magnitude of your inner sun, and they were afraid. They were afraid of not being able to reflect your light with the same intensity. They were afraid of being exposed in their own emotional limitations, of having their carefully constructed facade melt away under the warmth of your genuine affection. They were terrified of finally having to stop pretending, to stop performing, and to allow themselves to be truly vulnerable, because that is the sacred magic you perform without even trying, Leo. You create an energetic field around you, a kingdom of light, where falsehood simply cannot survive. In your presence, people are faced with a choice: take off their masks and be real, or retreat back into the shadows where they can remain hidden. And so many sadly choose to leave. They choose the familiar comfort of their own shadows because it is far, far easier than doing the sacred work of facing their own truth. I want you to imagine the time you spent together. See it in your mind's eye. While you were shining, sharing, and giving from your generous heart, this person was engaged in a silent internal struggle. On one hand, they were magnetically drawn to you. How could they not be? They were drawn to your authenticity, your infectious laughter, your ability to be so fully present. and the profound emotional depth you so freely offered. They were like a cold traveler, drawn to a magnificent bonfire, but on the other hand, they were terrified by the very heat that drew them in. They were terrified by the unspoken invitation to open up to the same degree, to abandon the emotional armor they had spent years meticulously crafting, to finally feel instead of just thinking their way through life. And when this internal tension, this battle between their longing and their fear became unbearable, escape felt like their only viable option. Let's dive even deeper, shall we? For those of you born in the heart of the Leo flame, we can see this pattern with even greater clarity. For my magnificent Leos, born between July the 23rd and August the 1st, you carry the raw, unfiltered power of the sun. Your radiance is at its most pure and potent. The person who distanced themselves from you had a specific fear of your unwavering authenticity. It demanded a level of truth and reciprocity they simply did not know how to offer. Your very presence was a mirror, and they were not ready to see their own reflection. For my regal Leos, born between August 2nd and August 12th, your solar power is expressed through grand generosity and leadership. Your fearlessness in love is pronounced. The fear this person felt was directly related to your capacity to give so freely and love so boundlessly. They felt like a commoner in the presence of royalty, and the fear of being unable to match your grand gestures and your noble heart became a source of deep inadequacy for them. They couldn't receive your gifts because they felt they had nothing of equal value to return. And for my brilliant Leos, born between August 13th and August 22nd, your solar energy is infused with the fire of creative passion and a need for dramatic, heartfelt expression. The distancing you experienced occurred because your presence required a clear and passionate commitment, a starring role in the grand play of love. This person, however, was content with being an extra living in the background and avoiding any definitive choices or grand romantic scenes. Your very nature demanded a decision they were terrified to make. But here is the most glorious and liberating truth that I need you to absorb into the very marrow of your bones today. That person's retreat from your life was a gift from the universe. I know. It doesn't feel that way right now. While your heart is still processing the sting of that sudden coldness, it feels like loss. It feels like confusion. But I promise you, with every fiber of my being, it was a profound and necessary blessing. Because my dear Leo, someone who is afraid of your light does not deserve to stand in its warmth. Someone who is intimidated by your intensity is not on the same vibrational frequency as you. Someone who needs to run from your truth is trapped in their own patterns of superficiality, patterns that you transcended long ago. So let me ask you this, and I want you to answer from the deepest part of your soul. Are you ready to stop dimming your own magnificent light so as not to startle those who have chosen to live their lives in the shadows? One of the most painful parts of this entire experience, I know, is that you probably tried to adjust. It's the curse of the generous heart. You sensed the person withdrawing, and your first instinct, born of love, was to try and make yourself smaller for them. Less intense, less brilliant, less you. You tried to turn down the wattage of your own sun to match the flickering candlelight of their energy. You tried to muffle your lion's roar into a kitten's purr. And what happened? The more you diminished yourself, the more you tried to contort your magnificent soul to fit into their tiny, fearful box, the faster they retreated. Because the problem was never ever that you were too much. The problem was, and always has been, that they were not enough for themselves. And no amount of you shrinking could ever fill the cavernous inner void that this person carries within them. You cannot pour your light into a vessel that is riddled with cracks of fear and self-doubt. It will only drain you. Let me share a cosmic secret with you that I hope will forever change your perspective. The very same radiance that scared that person away is the precise, powerful beacon that will magnetize the right person into your life. It is your soul's lighthouse. Out there right now, there is a soul who is searching. They are not looking for a flickering flame. They are searching for a sun. They are looking for exactly what you are: real, depth, true loyalty, a love that is a grand adventure, not a strategic game. There is someone who will not be frightened by your intensity, but will finally feel at home in it. Someone who will look at the entirety of who you are, your passion, your pride, your generosity, your fire, and will think with a sigh of profound relief, finally, someone real, someone who shines as brightly as I do. My dear Leo, the separation you are experiencing right now is a cosmic filter. It is the universe in its infinite wisdom acting as your most loyal gatekeeper. It is gently but firmly removing from your royal court someone who was not worthy of the treasures you so freely offer. It is creating a sacred empty space, and that space is being prepared for someone who is worthy. It is teaching you in the most powerful way possible that you do not need to shrink, adjust, or reduce yourself to be loved. You simply need to be yourself in all your glorious sun-drenched intensity, and trust that the person who is meant for you will not only tolerate that light, but will celebrate it, dance in it, and add their own light to it. Can you see it now? Can you feel the truth in this? This separation was never about loss. It was and is about your liberation. It is about you reclaiming your throne. Something that many magnificent Leos don't fully realize about themselves is how utterly intimidating your personal standards can be. You are the king, the queen of your own life, and you have an innate intolerance for disrespect. You do not accept inconsistency. You do not allow anyone to play games with your noble heart. And for people who are accustomed to manipulating, controlling, and playing with the emotions of others, your firmness is terrifying. It is like a peasant trying to lie to a king who can see straight into their soul. They realize very quickly that the tactics and games that work on others are utterly useless with you. They see that you see right through their strategies. They understand that you will not bend your own royal standards simply to maintain a connection that is not healthy or whole. The person who distanced themselves undoubtedly saw this regal quality in you. They realized they could not manipulate you emotionally. They knew they couldn't keep you as a convenient option while they explored other, lesser possibilities. They understood on a soul level that you demanded clarity, definition, and real commitment. And people who live in the gray fog of ambiguity, who love to keep all their options open, who are terrified of making a single definitive choice, they panic when they meet a soul like you, because you represent everything they cannot yet be: decisive, loyal, consistent, courageous, in love. And here is the truth that will set your heart free today. You did not lose someone special. You were divinely liberated from someone unsuitable. You did not lose a potential king or queen for your kingdom. You gracefully ushered out a jester who was unworthy of the court. The right person for you, your divine counterpart, will not find your intensity scary. They will find it thrilling and attractive. They will not be frightened by your demand for commitment. They will feel safe and secure within it. They will not be afraid of your emotional depth. They will want to dive into that golden ocean with you and explore its every treasure. When you finally meet this person, every past rejection will suddenly make sense. You will look back and understand that every closed door was just the universe whispering, "Not this one, my child. I am saving you for someone magnificent." Move on. During this period of healing and reflection, you may be tempted to wonder if you should change, if you should be a little less intense, a little less passionate, a little less Leo. And the answer from the cosmos, from your ancestors, from your highest self, is no. 1,000 times no. The world is already overflowing with superficial people. It is saturated with souls who are afraid to feel afraid, to commit afraid, to be real. What this world desperately needs is more people like you. More souls who love without fear, who give of themselves completely, who remain loyal even when it is difficult. Your intensity is not a flaw that needs to be fixed. It is your divine superpower. It is the very essence of your magic. It is what makes you capable of building lasting relationships, legendary love stories, and connections that have real substance and transformative power. And if someone cannot handle that, the problem lies in their own limited capacity, not in your emotional abundance. You do not need to become less to fit into someone else's small and fearful life. You need to remain whole and wait for the person who is on your level, a fellow monarch, ready to build an empire of love with you. The unspoken truth of our modern world is that society often teaches people to be emotionally shallow. It promotes the idea of not getting too attached, of always keeping your options open, of never fully committing your heart. And when these people who have been conditioned for superficiality encounter someone like you, a glorious anomaly who goes against all of that, who dives deep, who commits completely, they simply do not know what to do. So they run. They run because confronting their own limitations is far more painful than losing someone as extraordinary as you. But do you know what is most interesting? The soul who distance themselves from you out of fear will eventually realize the magnitude of their mistake. It may take them months, it may take them years, but a day will come when they are sitting in the lukewarm reality they have chosen, and they will look back and remember the feeling of your sun on their skin. They will understand that you were real gold in a world of cheap trinkets, that you offered an empire while they were busy collecting pebbles. And when that moment of realization finally arrives, it will be too late. Because you, my magnificent Leo, will have already moved on. You will be building your empire with someone who recognizes your worth from the very beginning. Remember, my beautiful Leo, your truth needs no defense. It does not need a lawyer, a jury, or a verdict. Your truth simply needs you to stand in it, to breathe in it, to own it. Place your hand on your chest one more time. Feel that heartbeat. It is the rhythm of a lion's heart, steady and strong. Each beat is a powerful reminder that you are still here. You have walked through the fire of misunderstanding. You have weathered the storm of silence, and yet the sun in your heart remains. No person, no betrayal, no act of cowardice can ever extinguish your light. This is your turning point. This is the sacred moment You stop interpreting their distance as your rejection and start seeing it for what it is, an unsuitable soul, recognizing their own limitations and stepping aside to clear the path for the royalty that is destined for you. Your radiance is not a problem to be solved. It is a divine filter. It repels the weak and magnetizes the strong. And you, my dear Leo, deserve nothing less than a love as strong and as brilliant as your own magnificent heart. Go forth and be the sun you were always born to be.